on X. So let's first of all, this is Hammers Hub. Their quote, power quote from Kudus on. He did this interview for Sports Illustrated, really good interview, and they've taken a quote about him. They're talking about the criticism he got while he was at West Ham. He says, being talked about almost every day on TV, it's hard to deal with. People who don't even know you, they literally just watch you for maybe 90 minutes, and then there's a judgment on who you are and what you are. Personally, I don't think that's fair. People, the best people talk about you are the ones who spend the most time with you almost every day. But that's part of the job, and as athletes we have to deal with that. That's why I say don't be famous, but you can still use the fame to be the best of your ability to have an impact on people's lives. Obviously he came with a bit of a narrative, didn't he? A bit of a West Ham fans were saying, you've signed him but he's a bad egg, things will turn wrong for him. He's lazy. I mean, obviously that's not the Kudus we've seen. He thinks he was unfairly judged at West Ham. So what do you think about what Kudus is saying here?
I think he's bang on the money. Listen, we all go to football, and obviously there's chanting, there's banter, players unfortunately do get abuse. Some of it may be warranted about their game or being off form, but when it gets personal, that's
I feel like there was a real character attack.
Oh, there was a complete...
When he was at West Ham.
When he first came in the first season...
He's playing badly, he's lazy, he didn't try, all these things.
I mean, I again, when you look at it, that he got 4 assists for them in total last season. He's done that in 7 games, 7 Premier League games for Tottenham Hotspur. When you look at that... I went back into it, and they were actually blaming Kudus for his lack of quality of delivering. It's like, well, you didn't have a real recognised striker. You went through 2 managers who didn't really play the kind of football.
Also playing him out on the left the whole season.
To accommodate both. Exactly. So you're going to be...
disgruntled, maybe.
Yeah, you're going to be disgruntled. You're not going to give your best performances if you're being moved into a different position that doesn't... How many times did we do that with players where we put them in a position just because they could play there, not because it was their strongest position?
Do you think that element of it, since he's come to Tottenham, the way he hustles and harries and presses and works hard for the team in, I would say most games. So some games maybe you could say you can criticise him, it didn't help Porro enough, but most games he does. Mm-hmm. Has that side of the game maybe impressed you or surprised you?
Very much so.
He maybe came with a reputation. Is he a bit of a luxury player? Obviously, a player who wows on the ball. But West Ham fans were saying, off the ball doesn't do much. So that side of the game, has that really surprised? Has it either surprised you?
Well, it has, because one of the biggest players, when you mention the word luxury players, one of the first names that come to my head is David Ginola.
Oh. Funny you say that. Someone yesterday in the comments compared him to Ginola.
Because you mentioned, honestly, I had the privilege of watching him week in, week out, home, away. He didn't defend. It was like literally, even Spurs, the manager was saying, listen, David, you stay there, so when we can counter, we get to you. He doesn't. I mean, there's been games where he hasn't, but a majority of the games, his defensive work has really impressed me. Mm-hmm. And his strength on the ball and his non-stop run, just his power and trying to get him off the ball. It reminds me of Dembele a bit. Mm. You just couldn't get him. He had 3 players around him at Leeds on the floor, didn't he? He still comes out with the ball.
Incredible. Some things he does. He models out situations.
I'm sure there's a lot of West Ham fans going, this is just the beginning. This is the honeymoon period. He's going to... but I think with the manager we've got and the way he does it with players, and I'm not just using Kudus as an example, I think with the whole team... We were saying on Sunday, weren't we? This team looks so together as one, pulling all in the same direction, that I think they're all there to support each other. And I think Kudus is going to reap the benefits from it and go strength to strength. And he's using this negativity to say, this is what he's doing right. He'll be like, all right, this is what you think, West Ham? I'll show you what I can do.
He said in the interview with Sports Illustrated that one of the reasons he chose Tottenham was what Frank does with his forwards. He's seeing on the evidence, what Frank does with the forwards he'd done at Brentford. And that was a big reason why he looked at Tottenham and was like, I think he can develop me and he can make me better.
I don't know what more I could say about Thomas Frank. This, as you know, and everyone will know when I speak about him, and I've spoken about this with you on and off camera many, many times, the key things that I wanted Frank for was tactical adaptability, the way that he coaches and literally brings these players on levels, and his man management skills. And you can see by Paulinho and him saying what they say, you can see the hugs and embraces he has with the team. People can go on about the style of football, but Thomas Frank will build something very, very successful here. And I think Kudus is going to be a very, very big player for us for years to come.
All right. Next up, this is the Who Scored team of the season for this season so far. Kudus getting the highest rating for a right winger so far. Do you think that's accurate? You reckon he's been the best right winger in the league so far? I guess you got maybe Saka. I mean, he's probably better than Saka so far after 7 games. You got Salah's been off the boil
Completely.
I mean, who else could you got? Elanga hasn't really done it so far. Who's Chelsea's right winger? Stavio.
Yeah, but Joe, what it is, I'll say this, Sim, is...
I mean, there's a good case to say Kudus.
There's a massive case for it, because what we got to look at as well, I saw we've all waxed lyrical about him be so far ahead with successful take-ons and whatever, but then I can't remember who tweeted it, but they started going on about Kudus has been the most he's had the most unsuccessful take-ons as well, and I'm like, do you know what? That's not really a bad stat to have, because it means he's trying to do something. He isn't just sitting there and playing it easy.
As long as he's got the most successful.
Exactly, he's got the most successful, but he's been distributed when he's as well. And I'm like, do you know what? This is what you want players to do. You want them to try and take their man on and create a space and do something.
I agree. I wouldn't say that stat in isolation is a good thing.
No.
But it's not a bad thing in isolation.
Well, you look at it, wingers we've had recently have been getting the ball, running back and passing it sideways.
Put it this way, Johnson probably is not high on that stat.
He's probably very, 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 very far down on it.
He doesn't try it.
No.
So he never loses the
ball. And I'm not just talking about now, I'm talking about in previous seasons gone by.
Yeah.
We've had wingers that haven't been direct and want to get to the byline and get a cross in.
Now the problem is if that stat was high, but he wasn't, but the successful take-ons was low,
then you look at it a different way.
Then you're like, okay, he's just giving the ball away, not doing anything. But the thing is, he's also top of the most successful.
Exactly.
So that, for me, just goes to show, okay, he'll try a lot, and a lot of it will come off. And
well, he had 6 for 6 against Leeds, didn't he?
6 out of 6. Yeah, I think he started to get more effective with it. Efficient, that's the word.
I mean, you look at what he did against Burnley as well, with the 2 assists for...
Yeah.
And he absolutely ran the show that game, didn't he?
Yeah. And I mean, if you look at that Who Scored team, I mean, look, it's only a Who Scored thing, but, Haaland and Semenyo are the other front thing. No one would debate those two at the moment.
That's not a bad front line, is it, in all honesty?
I think he's got a fair shout to be in there. Tottenham Academy put out a video essay. Dane Scarlett scoring a free kick yesterday. Against Newcastle in a under-21 friendly. What do you think? I mean, how do you think Dane Scarlett feels right now, being back with the under-21s?
Do you know what? This guy, a few years ago, I thought he was going to break through and be like the next big thing. I really did. I can't remember who he had up front at the time, or was it with Andrew? I think it might have been with the start of Andrew, or still. I can't even remember when.
Made his debut under Mourinho, unbelievably.
Jesus, it may have been Conte. It may have even been Conte, where I was like, I want to see him used more because I think he's got a big, big future. And it's just not working with him. Do you know what? He's even gone on loan. So I can remember he went on loan at Portsmouth, where he started incredibly, and the manager absolutely waxed lyrical about him, but then they just trail off. They just whether he's picked up an injury or his form's just dropped or his attitude. He is one that I think is destined for the outdoor, isn't he? He just can't get
Unfortunately. Maybe he needs like a parrot style move.
Yeah, maybe. Do you know what? I am actually really enjoying, not just from Spurs, but I'm loving English talent going abroad and getting there, being willing to go abroad and take that challenge rather than just waiting around to go to an English loan. Troy Parrott worked for wonderfully. Maybe that is what he needs. Maybe he needs an international loan.
Yeah, it can't be good for his kind of confidence being back with under 21s, where he's played on probably 3 or 4 years ago. He was playing under 21s, and he's supposed to be well away from that, and now 4 years later
he's strapped back in.
Back there, not even on loan. He's back with under 21s. So it must be kind of demoralising. But look, it's a nice free kick. So,
it's a very good free kick.
Who Scored have done their team of the season in Europe's top 5 leagues. So this is throughout the whole of Europe.
Yep.
Look who's at centre back.
I can't see it. Luka Vušković.
Luka Vušković. Incredible. How mad is that? So, first of all, this is a guy who's playing for a team who's middle of the range in the Bundesliga.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, no, it's not even that good. They were tipped to have a relegation battle this season, right? He's coming as an 18-year-old on loan, and the way he's performing, he's in currently the team of the season in top 5 leagues. That's how well he's performing, according to Who Scored. Now, obviously, again, Who Scored rating isn't gospel.
Yep.
But I don't think it's a coincidence that he's there. You know what I mean? You have to have some sort of statistical, like feats to be in that position. And, I mean, it's quite incredible as an 18-year-old to be there, in my opinion. I mean, he's already got his first goal. Mm-hmm. He seems to be absolutely just smashing every kind of stage of his career, every challenge that comes towards him. You know, Croatia at 15, Poland at 16, Belgium at 17, and now in Germany, one of Europe's top 5 leagues at 18.
Yep.
All apparently Hamburg fans have completely fallen in love with him, saying he's the best thing since sliced bread. This guy is a star in the making, isn't he?
Oh, absolutely. And Joe, I as we were going into this window before the loans, I actually wanted Vušković to go on loan and Ashley Phillips to stay. Obviously, they've both gone out on loan. But I think what we're doing with this one and with Vušković, it is a very, very smart move for Tottenham's future. To, like you said, the leagues he's gone in, he has just improved and grown, and now he's having a real challenge in one of the top 5 leagues, as you mentioned, and not in one of the super clubs where it's all plain sailing. And he's taken to it like a duck to water, hasn't he? He let's face it, he is an absolute unit. He is a machine, and we forget how young he is for his stature and everything. And this education he's getting across Europe is only going to benefit Tottenham. And you look at, we're talking about Dragusin and Takai and everyone coming back, and Danso obviously there. You're going to add him and Phillips next season.
If that was a recall in Jan, would you do it? We'll just let him just see out the season, get as much what you call it experience as he can.
I'd keep him there. If I put it this way, again, it's only because I think Vušković is going to be an international superstar. I genuinely do, like an international superstar.
Martin Yell said he thinks he's better than Romero.
Wow, I mean, when that man speaks, I listen. But I will say, I am just such a huge fan of Ashley Phillips.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, he's an England international in the making.
Who goes under radar.
I think he had a great loan move. Every loan move he's had in England, he is more suited and ready for the Premier League just because of his experience in the Championship and everything than Vušković is. Don't get me wrong, I think Vušković within a few years will surpass him. But I think Ashley Phillips is a quality defender in the making. I just hope he really gets his opportunity. You look at it right now, the future is very, very bright for Tottenham. Honestly, it really is.
Next up, Cuti Romero on international duty for Argentina. What is this tea they all drink? They all drink this tea with this. It's got a very specific cup in it. What's it called? They all drink it. All the South Americans drink this tea. I don't know why you have to drink it in this specific cup. This tea. But are we looking? You reckon? Maybe. I reckon in less than a year's time, we're looking at the Argentina's next captain.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, who else is there?
DePaul maybe. I mean, Otamendi's there, but they're getting on a bit as well.
It can only be.
It's going to be Romero.
It's got to be. I mean, it's got to be. And I would imagine. I would imagine as well that Messi will have a big say in who is the heir to the throne, and I think he has spoken openly about what he thinks Romero is to that country and what he is to the national team. So I can only see it being our very own Cuti Romero.
If you listen to any of the Argentinians players speak, they all say Romero is the best defender in the world. They all say it. They're all convinced by it.
They could be convinced of it, but there's a lot of patriotism.
It's funny, in this country, it's true, but in this country, like, there's still so much dismissiveness of Romero, I feel. Like, he's still so underrated.
He is a Joe right now again with Spurs players, and let's hope it happens again that we come back with a clean bill of health from international duty. He's looking sharper, he's looking happier, he's looking fitter, and now he's got the honour of wearing the armband for Tottenham Hotspur. He's just going to go from strength to strength.
Absolutely, and yeah, so happy that he's our captain, and I think. I think being Argentina captain is only going to give him that more responsibility down the line.
Is he vice captain at the moment?
I don't know. Argentina vice captain. Vice captain is Romero and Emi Martinez.
There you go.
So yeah, it's going to be Romero, isn't it?
Yeah.
Next up, Rising Stars says. A future Tottenham legend, Luka Williams-Barnett. This is his brace against Newcastle for the under-21s. He says at 16 years old, the under-21 level is already too easy for him. Remember the effing name. Look at these goals. Lovely. Get it a bit big. So this is Luka Williams-Barnett. This is his first goal. Look at this lovely finish, left-footed. And then you can see the second goal here. The way he just takes it. Oh,
he's lethal outside. He's more lethal outside the area than he is inside.
Okay, he drives it into the corner. Obviously, he got his first taste of first-team football. But do you reckon this is a player that's going to get fast-tracked to the first team? I know he's already made his first-team debut. But is this a player... Like, I know we kind of had this thing with Mikey Moore and we put him in the first team and mixed results last season. I wouldn't say it was a failure, but... played well some games, not so well some others. Like, what do we learn from that experience? Do we learn that we got to give more players like Luka Williams-Barnett a chance in the first team straight off the bat, or is it? Do we learn we have to be a bit more patient with these kind of players?
Sure, I think right now we're in a tricky kind of situation, and the only reason I say tricky is we look at it in the past. We've had players like this breaking through where players. Are playing in the leagues way above their age, and they're finding it so easy like this, but then they're not really getting the opportunities. I remember when, again, we'll go back to Dane Scarlett, when Antonio Conte was playing him, he wouldn't have Sonny or Kane alongside him, he'd have other youngsters around him, so it wasn't like you're bleeding him in around quality to see what he could do. And obviously we're at a time now where if you play the youngsters and they lose, it's like, well, why did you play him and not play a first-teamer? And the other way round. So I think at the moment, especially with where we are right now, as in how the season's got off to a start, put it this way, I wouldn't mind seeing him against Newcastle. We watched him against Doncaster, and he came on for, 4 or 5 minutes? I'd have no problem seeing him for half a game.
I don't know if Newcastle's the best. Newcastle's such a physical game.
Yeah, but sometimes you're away
against Joe Linton and Bruno and Tonali.
Sometimes that's the way to, if you want to sink or swim, chuck him in the deep end, whatever analogy you want to use. If we're saying, do we need to give this guy game time? We're not going to do it he's not in the Champions League squad. We're not going to do it in the Premier League.
He can play in the Champions League.
Okay, so we're not going to do it in the Premier League, especially with the games we've got coming up. So would you do it in the Carabao Cup and give a player a half a game rest? If we want to give these players, we've got to find the right times to do this, because we don't want to be in the position where we've had people of this calibre and they've walked through the door or left because...
He'll be 16.
I know. I'm not saying right now he is, but I'm saying with...
Dalman and Rio, they're all getting chances and doing well. But it's still...
And they're doing it in the Premier League.
They're doing it in the Premier League. But and that's fair enough. But you still just got to make sure you're doing it in the right way.
I mean, we did it with Mikey Moore, didn't we? We did it in Europa League. When we went in the Europa League, remember I was saying that's why I wanted to go in the Europa League, to bleed the youngsters in and see what they can do. Well, we're in the Champions League now, so I think the Carabao Cup is that kind of Europa League kind of standard that we're going in right now, where players like him could get an opportunity. Maybe you're right, a Newcastle way isn't worth giving him a half, but maybe half of a half or something. There's no extra time, is there? So it's not, okay, it'll go straight to penalties. But he is smashing it out the park at the moment.
He's 16. He was asked why he supports Tottenham. He said Paul Gascoigne. Do you believe him?
Well,
16. So he was born in.
Well, you got to think maybe his parents have spoken about Paul Gascoigne.
2009 was he born in?
But yeah, you got to think maybe his parents spoke non-stop about Paul Gascoigne and showed him, like when I was growing up, my parents would show me.
As well.
My parents used to show me. My dad would show me Glenn Hoddle, Dave Mackay, Alan Gilzine, all of those. My grandpa would go even further back. So maybe his parents. I mean, Paul Gascoigne would have been. You just need to watch a 20-minute clip of him.
He probably doesn't know what VHS is, but he knows who Paul Gascoigne is.
Damn right. Damn right.
Big up to Luka Williams-Barnett, future Tottenham star. I hope to see him getting a few minutes, a few opportunities, but he is 16. But it's amazing to see him perform at this level and just be too good for it.
Well, he did okay when he first came. He almost got a pre-assist for the goal that was disallowed offside. Yeah. So he got involved in the 4 minutes that he was on. He actually did bits, so who knows?
Next up, it's from Owen saying, fair play Leeds fans. Our away fans have been superb. Just need to improve our home atmosphere drastically. So this is on TikTok. If you scroll down, these are comments by Leeds fans. It was a video saying rate the Spurs fans. And these are Leeds fans leaving comments saying, best fans we've seen at Elland this season. Could hear them all game. So there's another one. Better than most. Do have good banter. And they outsung us like half-assed. We all love Leeds every 10 minutes. Last 2 games at Elland Road have been poor by us Leeds fans. So a lot of praise by the Leeds fans for Tottenham's away section. Yeah. And I don't know if you were listening to the game, you could hear Tottenham fans throughout the whole 90 minutes. And even Thomas Frank commented on them after the game. He said, wow, what a support. How good were they today, he said, about the Tottenham fans. That's lovely to hear, isn't it?
Oh, it is. I mean, you know very well from all your travels, and when I come with you in the park, the away days are incredible. Incredible. The new stadium, there's been games where the atmosphere has been incredible, but there are moments where it's not for whatever reason. But hopefully now, with return of the shelf, Spurs song sheets and everyone coming together and more atmosphere-driven things being spoken about, that could soon change. That could soon change. But you're definitely right. You would say that those away fans out-sing the home fans in a home game for consistently non-stop going. And I wish the home stadium would improve its atmosphere, because we want to make that place a fortress, and the fans will have everything to do with it.
Absolutely. Next up, we got some data from Data MB about Pedro Porro, and this season he says Porro's in the 95th percentile for possession won, progressive passes, progressive carries, aerial duel percentage won. That's quite interesting. And accurate crosses. No fullback has more passes into the box, crosses to the goalkeeper's box, or through passes completed in Europe's top 7 leagues. So Porro, a lot of people were saying he's maybe underperformed so far this season, but what do you think of his start to the season?
I think Joe.
I mean, if you click on the picture of his stats, it does say defensive duels won. He's only in the 41st percentile, so that's something he's clearly has to work on. That's
something he's got to work on. And you know what, we saw the other thing with him about sliding tackles first. There was other thing about his defensive duties that he was first in the majority of them. I think when he's had Kudus helping him and being that support, he can be a fantastic defender. But he is he's our outlet, like Trent Alexander-Arnold was for Liverpool from the back, even though you got Romero doing it as well. But I mean, for crosses and quality like that. But his defensive, sometimes he gets found out. Obviously, against Bournemouth, he got terrorised. He got absolutely terrorised. But in that, I think Frank got that wrong, and Spence would have been better in that game than Destiny on the left. Whether Destiny was as fit and ready as when he started at Brighton. I think we have a luxury now of those 3 fullbacks, and there will be certain games at right back where Spence is better suited than Porro, and it's whether we use it. But then when you do that defensively with Spence, you're missing what you gain with Spence defensively, you lose offensively because of Porro. So it's a real tricky one. But I love Pedro Porro with all my heart. He bleeds blue and white. His passion, commitment, drive, energy, everything is so fully focused on us. And I do think he's a wonderful player.
Yeah, and I still think he's underrated as well. I think a lot of people still kind of think this is Porro from when he first came. I think he's improved so much since then.
Night and day.
He's become such a consistent fullback. On the ball, since Trent has left, I think he's probably the best on the ball fullback in the league in terms of his ability, offensive fullback, I should say. His ability to cross, his shooting as well. So I think he's doing a good job, and I think Frank is definitely a perfect manager.
There was another tweet there. There was another tweet, not that you've got there, I don't know if you have, but there was, I don't know if it was Spurs Global or someone that said, if you had to rate what we know now, Pedro Porro as a signing out of 10, what would you give him?
8.
I'd be 8.59. And you got to remember when he first came, I didn't think he could defend at all. I thought, oh my God, what we done? Let's make him a right winger. I just love him. So if I had to rate him as a signing, he would be an 8.5, 9 for me.
8.5, 9. I think he's I think he's a phenomenal fullback. The problem is we've just been a mess ever since he's come up until now. Next up from Data and B, this is a comparison between Kudus and Semenyo. Look how much Kudus overperforms Semenyo by. The only thing Semenyo overperforms him at is probably the most important thing, and that's goals.
Yes, I was just about to ask you which one is Kudus, because I can't see my eyes, but green is Kudus. Green is Kudus.
Purple is Semenyo. How mad is it? But look at Kudus's chart.
Yep.
He's literally at the top of all of them.
Yep. He's
literally right at the top of every single one. But goals is one obviously he isn't. But as soon as he adds goals to his game, he's literally the most perfect winger.
Yeah, completely. And you look at it, and Semenyo, look what he did to us. Mm-hmm. He didn't score in that. Or did he score in that game? Or was it his shot that was deflected?
Semenyo was Evan Nilsson.
There you go. So he didn't score against it, but he literally tore us.
Apart, yeah.
He absolutely tore us a new one, and he did against Fulham. He was amazing he's been Bournemouth's star player, and he's very, very direct at what he does, and he is their biggest goal threat, isn't he? Or they've got a few at Bournemouth right now. But you look at that graph.
Basically, Kudus is like good at everything but scoring.
Who was that graph you were doing this with last summer? I think it was it Johnson and someone, or Morgan Gibbs White and someone, where you had this graph out. Maybe it was Eze. Maybe let's not talk about him. But that is very, very impressive when you think about how much of a flyer Semenyo has got off to.
Yeah, you think as well how good Semenyo is at dribbling. He outperforms with that. How good he is at assisting and stuff. He outperforms him with that. It looks like from this, Kudus is way more creative than Semenyo, but obviously Semenyo scores a lot more goals than him, so obviously that's something that Kudus is. I think Kudus, though, in recent weeks, I think if you look at the Wolves game, he nearly scored. He hit the bar, and then he got the goals offside. Obviously did score against Leeds, so I think he's getting in more goal scoring positions.
Could have had a couple against Leeds if he had taken his time, couldn't he?
Yeah, could have had a couple, so it seems as though they're getting him in more goal scoring positions, I feel. Data B says most goals prevented in the Premier League this season, and Vicario tops the chart. So this is basically, they calculate the amount of XG a keeper has stopped from going in the back of the net. So it's basically the highest level chances. And are you surprised by that? Vicario sits top, so he's saved the most kind of goals essentially from going in.
So, first of all, well done, Vicario, because sometimes you say you don't see it in the eyes or the stats don't back. What I will say is a lot of that from the Bournemouth game, because against Bournemouth, it was just raining chances for them, wasn't it? And clear-cut ones. Yeah,
so the only problem I would say with this stat specifically is the reason why. So, it's not necessarily all the top keepers at the top, because the keepers down the bottom, they obviously face more shots.
Exactly.
So they're obviously going to save more goals because they have more shots to face.
Exactly. Then you look at it, we've said all season that apart from that Bournemouth game, we really have limited the kind of opportunities teams had. Apart from the couple of set pieces at Wolves and Leeds, a lot of the goals have been the odd chance that they've got, but Bournemouth, they were just carving us open, and he was outstanding that game. But I will say he comes in for criticism, and I've given him some recently, but to be top of that list, fair play to him.
It means he's still doing his job from shot stopping wise.
Yeah.
He's still making a lot of saves, and I know he fumbled that one against Brighton outside the box, but I think most of his shot stopping still been at a good quality. And against Leeds, made 2 crucial saves, didn't he? Another stat comparison about Vicario as well says that he's first for prevented goals. His save percentage is also first. Touches first, passes completed first, and short passes completed. No keeper has completed more passes or short passes in Europe's major leagues.
That does surprise me with his distribution. That
So he's
does.
made the most passes out of any keeper.
Yeah,
Or
but
even
the
more
long
than-
the short passes. I think, you know what, with the goalkeepers now, and this is across all leagues as well, short passes even being included in these little things they do with the centre backs, isn't it? Which they're obviously always going to complete.
But I think that also gives more context to the stat before, because he is also top for save percentage. So that means that, so before you could say, if you're top of the goals prevented, but your save percentage is low, that means you're still letting in a lot of goals,
Yep.
but you're preventing a lot because you're making a lot of saves. But he, obviously our goal conceded is quite low.
Yep.
His save percentage is still high, which means he's not letting a lot past him.
Yep.
And he's also making, and he's also preventing a lot of goals. So he's actually saving us points.
He's saving us points, but the ones he's conceded, he's had an impact in some of them.
He has. I mean,
But-
I would say, in terms of points cost, I wouldn't really maybe make the Wolves one, because I say Wolves were getting the better of us anyway. But I think Brighton, I reckon if he doesn't concede that, I think we win. I think we win that game. And I think against Leeds, obviously it didn't cost us anything. So
I do think, seeing those stats there, we've had the conversations since I've been here, and saying I think this conversation about Kinski number one is becoming more and more apparent that this could be a thing. That gives me a lot more confidence in Vicario. I will genuinely say it. Those stats can't be laughed at, and yes, people, including myself, may have given him criticism and feeling it right, but those stats back him up. So well done, Big Vic.
someone in the reply said Hugo Lloris reincarnated.
Yeah, when it comes to distribution, I thought once Hugo Lloris left, my heart could deal with a goalkeeper's distribution. He does give me those vibes. He does when it comes to distribution.
All right, well, that is Reacts. That's all we got time to react to. That's all we got for today.